You can't have that kind of relationship with God through someone else. You have to discover it on your own. It's like the difference between knowing about something and knowing something, right? I remember when we found out we were pregnant with our first daughter, Landry. She's 6 now. I was like, I guess 32 when we found out, 33 when she was born. And I'm like, okay, at 33 years old, I've lived some life. I had nieces and nephews at this point, and I had been around kids, and I had experienced enough of life that I'm like, I mean, how hard can it be? Yeah, I laughed now too, okay? But 33-year-old me didn't know that, and so I felt somewhat confident, but just to be safe, okay, I'm not that arrogant. I'm fairly arrogant, but I'm not that arrogant. Just to be safe, I did what any self-respecting first-time dad-to-be would do. I went to the bookstore and bought every single book they had about becoming a parent. I watched countless hours of YouTube videos. I downloaded apps on my phone that told me what size the baby was and went from being a pear to a cantaloupe. And then I told my wife that she was carrying a cantaloupe, and that didn't go well. And so maybe I didn't have this thing figured out after all. I got around all of my friends who were parents and tried to glean from their experience. I tried to learn from what they had learned as they had become parents. And so as we prepared to go to the hospital, I felt like, okay, I have a fairly good grasp on what it's going to look like to be a parent. But I got to tell you, nothing could have prepared me for the moment that the nurse takes this little baby and puts her in my arms with her 10 fingers and 10 toes and those beautiful eyes looking back at me and her heartbeat and her future hopes and dreams that she didn't even know existed yet, and her emotions, all of her emotions. And then the nurse says, hey, you get to take this baby home. And I'm like, are you sure that's a good idea? They're like, you'll be fine. Here's what happened. In an instant, everything changed from knowing about what it was like to be a parent to knowing what it was like to be a parent. And that does not mean that I had it all figured out. It doesn't mean that everything has gone perfect or that I don't still have so much to learn, because I know that I do. But something shifted from knowing about to actually knowing. This is the invitation for you and for me. The invitation today that Jesus offers us is, hey, you don't have to just know about God through someone else. You can actually know God.